Hey, this is Justin Breen with BrEpic and author of international #1 bestseller, Epic Business. And if you really want to learn how to level up your life, you should be listening to the Time to Shine Today podcast with my good friend Scott Ferguson.
Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. It is Scott Ferguson. We are at episode 191 with Justin Breen, the CEO of BrEpic. And basically, his company really helps companies solve problems through stories and creates viral and thought-provoking stories. And he's a man of few words. He's very, what I would call stoic, but it was a lot of fun in the interview. I asked him a lot of the same questions I asked my other interviewees, but the episode is shortened because he just gets concise and to the point. And if you're a business owner, that's something that you really want to work with. So I strongly recommend you reaching out to Justin at BrEpic if you're really looking to level up. So without further ado, sit back, relax, break out your notebooks, because here comes my really good friend, Justin Breen from BrEpic. Let's level up. Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. It is Scott Ferguson, and I got my boy that was referred to me by my girl, Rachel Clancy, Justin Breen from BrEpic. BrEpic Communications LLC will grow your business brand with expert social media postings, crafting click-worthy stories created by local, regional, national media, successfully pitching them to outlets and providing customer service second to none. It is spearheaded, BrEpic is, by Justin Breen. And he has an author, which I'm going to have a book giveaway at the end of this, where I'm going to purchase the book and Justin's going to sign it and send it out to you. And he is a hardwired to seek out and create vital, thought-provoking stories that the media craves. And he finds the best stories when he networks with visionary entrepreneurs like my listeners and executives who understand the value of investing in themselves and their businesses. Justin believes strongly in the power of introduction and creates important relationships through those introductions. He is an extremely active member of Entrepreneurs Organization, strategic coach, and Abundance 360. And he is an incredible global network of visionaries and exceptional businesses. And Justin, thanks for coming on. Introduce yourself to the Time to Shine Today Varsity Squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
Blue.
Why is that?
Always have liked it.
Yeah? Blue. I'm looking at the Atlantic Ocean right now. It looks very blue, and I love it. That's my little earnings that got me here. So let's get to the origins of Justin here and then work into the BrEpic.
Sure. So first of all, thank you for serving our country. The military means a great deal to me and my family, and I never understood why more people don't appreciate the military. So
appreciate that.
Really appreciate it. And so I'm 100% simplifier. Less is more. A lot of people talk a lot. I actually talk very little unless somebody asks me questions. So started my company 3.5 years ago with zero business background. Now I have a global company that only works with the top business brands and mindsets in the world, and it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. So what was the, we'll call it a fork in the road moment that got you to go on to your BrEpic, from where you were and what you did before?
Sure. So the timeline is February 10th, 2017 to June 5th, 2017. So February 10th, 2017, I had my job salary cut in half as I was working full-time as a journalist, couldn't find a job, incorporated April 16th, 2017. My company's called BrEpic. Over the next 6 weeks, I reached out to 5,000 people to get my first 5 clients. Got my 5th client June 1st, 2017, resigned June 2nd, and then Robert Feeder, he's the top media columnist in the Midwest, did a story. I'd started my own firm on June 5th.
Love it. And so give us like the top 5 companies that you represent and help level up.
That's interesting because I've done hundreds of interviews. No one's ever asked me that. So I'll give you a couple of examples. I've worked with companies as large as Allstate and University of Illinois. I work with a ton of entrepreneurs now because they match my mindset. And I only work with people with 3 attributes in their mindset. And that's visionary, abundance, investment. And so those people with those 3 attributes can only fit into 2 types of categories. So they're either running high 6-figure to 10-figure businesses. They see their families whenever they want to, and they do what they like to do and what they're good at. Or they're going to be one of those people. They're not there yet revenue-wise, but they will be. So it eliminates what do you cost or charge. It eliminates cost scarcity mindset. And so I just work with people with that mindset around the world. So whether that's Africa's largest speaking company, that Speakers Bureau company that went global because you can't speak in person anymore, innovative one of the largest HVAC companies in the world that created a stay-at-home or in-person office space, basically HVAC device, to a solopreneur who's father threw $100 crumpled up $100 bill at him when he was 11 years old and said, "Here's the money you're going to need to, with your mom when you're homeless." So, and then he
Got
wrote a
it.
book about it. So none of that matters. It's just my company just solves the problem.
Love that. Love it. And you know that I've been told that people every day scroll the height of the Eiffel Tower on their cell phones. That's what they scroll. They scroll literally the height of the Eiffel Tower. So what do you do, if you don't mind, give us a little bit of your secret sauce to create thumb-stopping content? What is some of your secret sauce that does that, Justin?
Yeah, so all my company does is solve the problem. So from a journalistic perspective, companies hire my firm. One, I was a journalist for 20 years, and I created my entire business model based on how PR firms annoyed me for 20 years. So I know a story that, as you can hear my kids screaming in the back.
Love it. No problem, man. We know what area we're living in, the era.
Right. Right. So it's funny, but so I know what a story is that journalists actually care about, and then I'm not sending my contacts across the world a bad story. So it just cuts through all the noise and nonsense. But what I hear over and over and over and over and over is we're tired of being the best secret out there. So they have this great business or brand, or they've written a great book, or they've pivoted since COVID, or whatever that is, and then they just want to be in news and media at a high level to create validity and credibility for their brand, both short-term and long-term. So that's what my company does.
I love it. And it's like you just said, pivot. And like back in the day, maybe 12 years ago, it was shift, right? So, shifting and now pivoting. I call it shivot. So that's what we do across the board is, my coaching, we help people shivot. So let's you saw the movie Back to the Future, I hope.
Oh, many times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get in that DeLorean with Marty McFly. Let's go back to the 22-year-old. I guess you'd be a journalist or starting in the journalisting world. What kind of knowledge nuggets, as we call them here, Time to Shine today, what kind of knowledge nuggets are you dropping on 22-year-old Justin to help him level up, blast through, and shorten his learning curve?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And if I had been asked that question even a year ago, I wouldn't know how to answer it. But I've been asked that question so many times because it's a good question that I have the answer to it now. And so I started this business with zero business background. I got a full academic scholarship to the University of Illinois. I got a 32 on my ACT, so I have some type of brain.
Really good brain.
Well, it's some whatever, but so never heard the word entrepreneur growing up. Never. This life wasn't even. It never even existed. I never even thought about it existing until I started this. And so if I could go back to my 22-year-old self, and you heard my kids screaming in the background, but so I don't care if my kids go to college. I'm sure they will because my wife's a doctor and I got a 32 on my ACT, so I'm sure they'll go to college.
Sure.
But if they do go to college, the only thing I care about is that they take entrepreneurial classes taught by actual entrepreneurs, not somebody who's been in a ivory tower job for 30 years and has no idea what they're doing. So that's all I really care about in terms of that, and that's what I would have done.
Love it. And so we talk about the dash here at Time to Shine today, that little line between your incarnation date, your expiration date. Mm-hmm. How does Justin want his dash remembered after he's dead and gone?
Yeah, be a good dad.
Be a good dad?
Yeah, all this other stuff's meaning. And so my company's insanely profitable. I work with the best people on the planet. None of that matters because I've seen so many. You don't want to be the richest guy in the cemetery, and
exactly
right. So I know a lot of billionaires, multi-gajillionaires, and so many times I just ask them, how's your family? And many times they're like, oh, I never had a family, or I never spent time with my family, and I hear the hurt or I see the hurt. I'm not one of those people. So all this other stuff, meaningless to me.
Absolutely, brother. Family is everything. So give me a weakness of yours.
Oh, so I'm useless to society at almost everything. And so most entrepreneurs think they're great at everything, or a lot of them, and they try to be great at everything. I'm actually terrible at almost everything. Things that a trained monkey, a dumb monkey could do, I can't do any of that. So like installing a light bulb, doing a puzzle with my children, following directions, useless. But in terms of connecting people on a global level and getting people in news at the highest level, there are very few people in the world that are better at it than I am. So I just do my entire day is doing what I like to do and what I'm good at. And
love it.
There's no deviation from that.
So you farm out what you suck at then? Well,
any successful entrepreneur, if they're not good at it or they don't like to do it, they either don't do it or they find the best person in the world to do it. So that's
absolutely. I love it. And that's why I have interns to do the stuff that I really don't do, because we drop 4 to 5 shows a week, and I couldn't be able to do that and keep up if I was to do it all myself. I love that.
Right.
So what do people misunderstand most about Justin?
Yeah, so I only work with the 0.1% of mindsets on the planet. So whether they're dirt broke or they're billionaires, people with that mindset, they'll make the investment. People with the wrong mindset, they'll make excuses. There are no excuses when you get to the highest level. You just make the investment. And so 99.9% of people have no idea what I'm talking about. And that's fine, because I only partner with the 0.1%. But the 99.9% think I come off as arrogant. And that's completely the opposite of arrogance, because I'm actually just 100% confident in my abilities. Arrogant people think they're great at everything. I'm terrible at almost everything. So it's the exact opposite of arrogance.
Yeah, I appreciate that humility, man. That's that's not heard of in a lot of my interviews. I'm saying? A lot of people say I'm great, I'm this and that, which is fine. But as long as you're doing it out of a place of service. But people like you that's humble enough to say they suck at a lot of stuff.
Oh, a lot, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. So my wife, our sons are 8 and 6, and my wife says she has 3 children because I'm basically a child at most things. Just in terms of what I'm really good at, though.
Yeah, you're good.
World-class genius. So
I love it. I love it. So if you were to lose everything right now through what you've built at BrEpic, what's the first thing you would do to get the ball rolling again?
Yeah, so I'm in several of the top entrepreneurial organizations in the world, and many of them, since COVID, have lost 100%, 95% of their businesses in a couple days.
Absolutely.
Okay, whatever, figure it out. There are no excuses, so I'll just start another company. That's what I mean. So like people with the wrong mindset, they'll just make an excuse. There are no excuses.
Nope.
You just get it. I mean, you're in the military. You make an excuse in the military, somebody dies. It's all right. There are no excuses.
Yeah, I just say, and I say it affectionately, but losers make excuses, winners make adjustments. That's what they do.
I love it. I love it. And so that's interesting that you say losers. I don't believe in the word losing. You're either winning or learning. I just say
okay, then the learners, they make excuses then. Maybe they don't. No, but I deal with a lot of people. I coach, 8-figure executives, and they started and they're asking me how to get people through there that work for them through that adaptability, especially during this time. I went through the crash of 08, 09, and I experienced, an income of, a couple million a year down to about 50,000. So it gets a little bit
entrepreneur life. I mean, so that's on. So again, all I do is simplify everything. I just hear blah, 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 and I see patterns. That's all I do. So I have not met, because I've talked to thousands of the world's top entrepreneurs since starting my company as a journalist. I've interviewed thousands and thousands of people. So all I did is take all that blah, blah, blah in patterns. So I have not met one of the the top entrepreneurs in the world. I have not met one who has not overcome at least one of the following 4 things. So at least one, most are 2 or 3, and some are all 4. So here they are. 1 is bankruptcy or potential bankruptcy. 2, depression. 3, the highest level of anxiety you can imagine. 4, likely and or possible traumatic experiences as a child or young adult. So that's what separates entrepreneurs at the highest level from everyone else. Is entrepreneurs at the highest level don't make excuses. They just figure it out and get it done. While everybody else, they just get a job or they complain about it.
Love it.
Just get it done.
I love it. I love it. So what's your definition of a life well lived?
Boy, that's a great question, Scott.
I'm here. I'm time to shine today, baby. We're not one of the top 100 coaching and personal development podcasts for nothing, my friend.
Yeah, so that's a good question, and here's why. So again, you asked me how I wanted my life. I just wanted to be a good dad, and so my father died when I was 13. He was a soldier in World. Well, thank you. So he was a soldier in World War II. He'd be 104 if he was alive now. He was 61 when I was born. Wow. And so I know, right? Wow, but that's my life. My life is wow. So it's So I know what that's like to not have a dad around. So that's why I'm so actively involved with my children and being a good dad, because I know what it's like to not have that. So as long as I'm a good dad, all this other stuff is whatever.
That is the definition. That's fantastic, man. And hey, time to shine today. Varsity Squad, it's Scott Ferguson. I'm here with my really good friend, Justin Breen, the CEO of BrEpic. And we're going to move into our leveling up lightning round. And Justin, we got about 6 or 7 questions. And you can't give me any, you're great with short answers. You can't give me any explanations, all right? So you're going to fire off top of your head. You got 5 seconds. Producer will ring you and buzz you if you take longer. You ready?
Yep.
Let's level up. What's the best leveling up advice Justin's ever received?
Do what you like to do and what you're good at.
Love it. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
I run 6 times a week outside, no matter the weather conditions. I've done that for 20 years.
And he's in Chi-Town, people, so it gets cold there.
It's very
My
cold.
man. So other than your own website, and of course, timetoshinetoday.com, my shameless plug, what is another website that Justin goes to level up?
Strategic Coach is the top group for entrepreneurs in the world. I've been
Beautiful.
in for years.
Oh, I'm there, baby. I'm there. So if I'm in my doldrums a little bit, not really feeling it, Fergie, read this book. What's the book?
Number one book is Blue Fishing by Steve Sims.
You know, I have to read that. It's literally sitting on. I should go then grab it, but I
Number
really
one.
have to read it.
Number
So,
one.
If you text, what's your commonly used emoji?
I don't use emojis.
Good. I figure you wouldn't. Very short man of words there. If you could be one age, and don't freaking lie to me, if you could be one age for the rest of your life and still have the knowledge you have and continue to learn and level up, what age is it? Physically?
40.
40. Got it. How old are you, if you don't mind sharing?
43.
43? Got it, man. I'm coming up on 50, and I still would take 28 all day. Anyways, so name the person that had the most profound impact on your life.
My father.
Beautiful. Thank you for saying that. Your favorite charity and or organization you like to give your time and or money to?
I give just so many. Schuler Scholar Foundation.
Beautiful. And last question, and you can elaborate just a little bit on it if you'd like, but what's the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
80s.
80s, my man. Big hair, don't care. And you got everything in the 80s, man. You have rap. That started with Run DMC. You had, like I said, the big hair metal bands, glam rock, British Invasion, Irish Invasion with U2. It's the best decade ever. Dude.
U2.
Best decade ever. So, Justin, how can we find you, bro?
Justin Breen on LinkedIn. I think by the time this airs, I'll have 25,000 followers there.
Heck yeah. It's awesome. So, squad. Justin is a big believer in simplifying that less is more. The attributes of vision, abundance, and investment are very key. He helps companies solve problems, and he does it a lot through stories and the connections he has to get those stories out. You know, he wants you to, like, if you're younger or if you're just kind of moving up, he wants you to maybe take classes that are taught by entrepreneurs and not just career scholars, people that are going to actually show you real life situations. His ambition is to be remembered as a great dad. And basically, he says that, you know, entrepreneurs don't make excuses, they make adjustments. And this is the epitome of a man that does that. And Justin, you level up your health, you level up your wealth, you're a man of few words, you're humble, you're hungry. I appreciate you coming on to Time to Shine today and rocking the mic. And we look forward to collaborating again, brother.
That was a tremendous recap that you just did there.
Awesome.
That was amazing how your brain synthesized that. That was incredible to watch that.
I appreciate that, Justin. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Time to Shine Today podcast. Proudly brought to you by Sutter & Nugent Real Estate Excellence, who can be reached at 561-249-7266 and online at www.sutterandnugent.com. If you are a business owner or professional who would like to be interviewed on Time to Shine Today, please visit timetoshinetoday.com/guest. If you like this episode, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. There's a link in the show notes to our website. Also there, you will see our recommended resources. We hope that you will support our show by supporting them. If you like what you've been listening to, it'd be great if you could just give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe while you're at it. I'm your host, Scott Ferguson, and until next time, let's level up. It's our time to shine.